So tonight's ramble is inspired by a coworker. I was sitting next to a guy who turns out he's a gamer. He saw me looking at some Pathfinder books. We had got into a conversation, and he was talking about the campaign that he was playing in, and it began to sort of slowly dawn on me that some of the stories he was saying began to make his characters sound evil. Now, I, of course, asked, "Oh, are you guys playing evil characters?" "Oh, no, we're good guys. I mean, we're opposing the evil of the campaign." Okay, let me go through a few key points here. First, they have a wizard that summons demons and takes the souls of the fallen and forges them into magic items. That's when I began to go, wait, you're evil, aren't you? To which the guy was like, no, we're good guys. We're good guys, we're just successful and all, is all, we're doing it all for the greater good. And through the course of the conversation, he started bringing up other things. Well, we did have these tombs that we took over from the bad guys, and so we started using it as a vault for keeping all our stuff. And to protect it, well, we took a bunch of monsters that we killed and turned them into zombies and filled the dungeon with the zombies. Are you sure you're not the villain of this story? Because that sounds like something villains do, right? Fill their vaults with undead monsters and horrors to keep people from taking their stuff. I mean, didn't you kind of take all this stuff by clearing out all the terrible horrors that the other guy put there? Yeah, this sounds like villainy to me. This sounds like you're a villain. No. We're flexible. We're trying to, be the most effective in opposing these bad guys. Specifically, I think it was the Rune Lords. That he's doing the Rise of the Rune Lords thing, and they're about halfway through it apparently. And they wanted to be effective. Okay. And I was like, all right, well. It still sounds like bad guy stuff. Well, no, I mean, we don't do anything too bad. I mean, there was that one time where we were trying to recruit these trolls to work for us, and, we kind of let them eat. Never mind, you're a bad guy. The moment you enter the realm of, I let the trolls eat somebody, you're a bad guy. I don't care what your goal is. You're a bad guy. You know what? It's also a bad guy? Taking somebody's soul in a setting that actually has afterlives. You could say souls in this world would be a nebulous thing because we're not really clear on what they are and if there is an afterlife. I'm sure there are some people who are very clear on this point, but there's room for doubt, let's say. It wouldn't be faith if there wasn't. But, if it wasn't an absolute known provable thing, all right, I'll give you all right, that's a little dodgy, but maybe it just depends on your definition of souls, right? Maybe the souls aren't actually eternal things, but no, this is Pathfinder, and their souls are the purview of living beings, and the part of them that continues on after they die, and they do have an afterlife. It's provable. You can summon up gods to ask them. Well, not necessarily summon up the god. You could, have a direct conversation, though. There are angels in the setting. There are demons in the setting. there is in fact, provable magical power in the realm. It's not like here, where, you know what, we can't prove a lot of that crap, so sure, whatever. It's perfectly reasonable for you to believe that they don't even exist. But in a magical realm where you have provable things, doing things with people's souls that consumes the soul to make stuff for you, yeah, that's pretty evil. Even if they're bad people, it's kind of evil for you to take their souls and, consume them and destroy them. I mean, I can sort of see it if it's like imminent threat kind of thing, like the soul might come back as a wraith or something terrible like that. But otherwise, you already killed them. I'm sorry, you're evil. Evil. So, yeah, I pointed these points out to him much more calmly than I just did now. And the guy suddenly began to realize that actually, they were actually bad guys. That they were, in fact, evil. He just hadn't thought of it that way. And this actually sort of comes back around to adventurers. And I've noticed this at LARPs, to a certain extent. It's actually more evident to me at LARPs than it is in tabletop and sometimes. That player characters, adventurers, are almost sociopaths. I mean, they're completely psycho. In no reasonable civilized society would we think, you know what, this guy's annoying me, I'm just going to skip to the part where I kill him, is okay. PCs will turn a blind eye to that. Or they'll advocate it. Oh, he's too annoying to live. We just have to kill him. PC's default reaction, especially in D&D, but also in LARPs and a couple other places, is to resort to violence. Because, well, the system's sort of geared towards it. It's geared towards a violent resolution to a problem. This isn't to say that that's the only way to play. But the vast majority of the rules are built around combat encounters. The vast amount of abilities is related to combat encounters. So that's going to be your solution. And much like a soldier who doesn't know how to deal with the real world, once he comes back, when he's lived in a place where it was constant, threat of violence all the time, sort of the same thing with adventurers, except, if you think about the morality of your average adventurer, who knows? They try and be good guys, for the most part. Most of them do. Some of them sort of skip that, apparently. But most of them try to be good guys. But they're good guys who get conditioned to a particular response. Oh, well, we're going to have to kill things again. Even the best of them begin to recognize that as a more common response. It's a go-to. And if you want to be good at it, you go to it fast, because you might not survive going to it slow. So how can you be good guys? This is not to say that all violence is inherently bad. Sometimes violence is required to stop violence. I'm not going to get into the only way to stop a gun, madman with a gun is another gun. No. But if somebody's coming at you to harm you, whether you have a gun or not, or they have a gun or not, you have only a couple of options. A, run away. B, stop them. C, get somebody else to stop them. Now, or, okay, D, take it. There's also the take it option. But most adventurers and most games don't really support that option of just standing there and going, well, I'm just going to take it. Okay, you're dead. Make a new character. And there is an argument to be said for, as long as the consequences are good. A friend of mine brought this up on Google Plus when I mentioned I was going to be talking about this. As long as the consequences are good, it's possible that this, any number of shady things can be considered good as long as the goal and the consequences are good. Well, killing people can suck, but as long as you're killing them for the greater good, it's fine as long as you're actually good. As long as you're not, Hitler confusing killing people with, killing off the quote-unquote lesser races or what have you as a good thing. But it's awfully hard to make that distinction. And, yes, if I have to defend this town by defeating these raving barbarians who are coming to kill everyone in the town, all right, there's a fair argument there. Even if it means I have to kill a lot of people, it means I'm saving these innocent non-combatants from these ravening hordes. I'm not sure where I'm going with this. I honestly don't know. But what I am curious about is, what is it about adventurer morality? I think I brought this up before. What is it about the adventurer morality that makes this sort of behavior make sense? Now, the guy I talked to, I think most people would agree, after you went through the list of stuff they were doing, and even he agreed, oh wait, no, that is evil. Okay, that's fine. But, I've seen this before, where people who start out as good guys turn to bad guys in the course of games. Partly, I think it has to do with the lack of consequence. If you're the most powerful thing on the field, who's going to hold you to task for doing the evil? Partly, I think it's the disconnect because it's only a game and a power fantasy to a certain extent. So, therefore, people can get away with a certain moral flexibility that they wouldn't be allowed to have in a real-world setting. How do you keep people from going off the rails evil in your game if you don't want it to be there? Now, if you go in with the understanding that everybody's evil, that's one thing, everybody's got that. But how do you keep that from happening in a game where ostensibly everybody's a good guy and they just sort of slowly turn evil? Sure, there's the one or two shady guys, but they're shady. They're like Han Solo. They're not like, Joseph Mengele. So, I'm curious. How do people do this? I know from my standpoint as a player, if I see a party going in that direction, and I don't feel like it needs to be going in that direction, I tend to drift towards being the good guy. Not always. Sometimes I've done some dumb things, but for the most part, I try and be the, hey guys, we're being evil. You need to stop. Let's think this out. Maybe talk it out. Let's not. Sometimes I play the crazy evil guy too, if everybody else in the party is good and I don't have to worry about the whole party going evil. But it's interesting to see that dynamic, and I'm interested to know how people deal with that dynamic. I don't know. I don't have a conclusion on this one. I'm just sort of rambling about it, and I'm curious what people think of it and how they handle it. But anyways, I'm going to wrap this up. It's coming up on 15. Subscribe, like, share with all the peoples, and I'll talk to you tomorrow.